The second Kira's introduction is one of my favorite scenes from Death Note. It is intense and exciting, so I want to break down the elements that make this scene so great. The first element that this scene uses is previously established information. The details the audience knows coming into this scene are that Light, or Kira, needs a name and face to kill. Many police officers have quit out of fear of Kira. The task force has fake IDs and badges to avoid getting killed. Soichiro Yagami is in the hospital. Shinigami eyes will allow Light to see names just by looking at her face, but Light doesn't want to sacrifice his lifespan for that power, and the task force isn't aware of the Shinigami eyes. For context, this scene is shown from the perspective of the task force. The situation is that Kira sends tapes that appear on Sakura TV which demand the cooperation of the police. Kira proves his powers, and the force now has a goal of stopping the broadcast. The second element that this scene uses is a plot twist. This starts when Ukita dies on TV when he goes to the station. The task force and the audience are both surprised, but for different reasons. The force thought that Kira needed both a name and a face, while we were sure that Light would never make the Shinigami eye deal. After the scene ends, the answer is quickly given to us, and the answer is pretty logical. There is another Death Note user who has the eyes. This may seem obvious in hindsight, but the idea is cleverly disguised. First, Light isn't shown at all throughout this scene. Second, Light has been the only Death Note user for 10 episodes, so the possibility of another user wouldn't have been the first idea to cross our minds. Rather, we'd be thinking whether or not Light made the deal. Lastly, the scene is so intense and fast-paced that the audience doesn't have the time to think about the answer if they are focusing on the episode without interruption. The third is smart and creative solutions, a staple of Death Note. The problem is that the task force needs to get the tapes without showing their faces to Kira, who L deduces is hiding nearby. As a solution, Soichiro uses a police van and hood to hide his face from Kira. He then uses a gun to threaten the people and take the tapes. To get him out safely, L uses his connections to organize a plan. Police with helmets, blankets, and lights block the station, making the plan a success and returning Soichiro safely. The fourth is the fast pace. The pacing is achieved with story beats. A beat is one of the smallest measurements of a plot. Each new beat shifts the tone and controls the pace of the plot. When several beats are placed in quick succession, the plot becomes fast-paced. This scene has beats placed back to back, along with a constant revelation of new information to make for an intense ride. Around 2:11, the task force turns on the TV to see Kira. The tone is one of curiosity to see what he has to say and what will happen. About 2 minutes later, Kira proves his powers, making the force tense. About 40 seconds later, L comes to the realization that they can't let the broadcast finish. The force is frantic as Sakura TV won't pick up the phone, so Ukita drives there. 2 minutes later, Ukita dies on TV, and the force freaks out, unable to comprehend how Kira can kill with only a face. About 2 minutes later, L is able to calm everyone down, but the situation looks hopeless. 22 seconds later, Soichiro is shown driving in his van and breaks into the station. This beat is epic and exciting, as not only has Soichiro gotten out of the hospital, but he's found a way to accomplish the force's goal on his own. Less than 2 minutes later, L organizes a plan to get Soichiro out safely. About a minute and a half later, Soichiro is seen walking to the exit under L's orders, and the audience is in suspense as to what L's plan is. 15 seconds later, the police coming together to stand against Kira changes the tone to one that is inspirational and hopeful. Even the anchorman on TV tells the viewers to stand up to Kira, even though his life could be taken away at any moment. The scene ends a minute and a half later when Soichiro comes back safely. As you can see, the story changes the tone about every 2 minutes or less, making for a thrilling ride. Finally, the message of the scene increases the impact and gives a nice resolution to the conflict. The death of the officers and Soichiro defying Kira on TV inspires the other officers into action. They all quickly join together to reject Kira's intimidation, enforcing the theme of rejecting evil in spite of fear. In conclusion, the introduction of the second Kira uses established information, a good plot twist, creative solutions to a problem, fast pacing, and an inspirational message to make the scene incredible. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and check out my manga for free online. If you enjoy my content, please consider donating to my Patreon. All important links will be in the description.